Men of Reddit, what is something you tell your girlfriend or wife that is completely untrue?
Story 1.
Nah, I don't want it, you go ahead. Whenever my husband says this, I insist on splitting it with him. Somehow that's more palatable to him than taking it if I offer it back to him. During our first years of marriage, my wife and I played this silly game, where, if there was a small piece of cake or dessert or whatever's left, we would each take only half of what remained. Over and over, until it wasn't practically possible to do so. That started me thinking, if the first person takes half, then the next person takes half of that, and so on, ad infinitum, how much does each person get? Turns out the first person gets 2/3, the second 1/3, but I couldn't prove it. A few years later, while reading a recreational math book, yes, there are such things, I found a proof for this. My wife still teases me about how tickled I was to find it.
Story 2.
I compliment her painted nails. I couldn't give a duck, but she cares about it, so I do my part. I have to give my husband some credit. He tries to at least point out one feature. Oh nice, sparkly. That's a cool shade of blue. They are all the same length. Ha ha ha. It actually works. I went from, they look beautiful to adding some detail about them, they are such a good bright color of red. They are blending so well, etc. And it has made a huge amount of difference in my wife's expression. She has become excited about showing off more things like her hair treatment or styling, or her new cream, and what it does. She looks so happy doing all that. I think both men and women should do this. Your man plays a sport. Go watch him if he's okay. And listen to him and appreciate it. Your woman loves doing her nails, notice it. Takes just a few minutes of your effort, but makes your spouse feel so much nicer. I don't know, I'm projecting. For when I will get a spouse. Ha ha ha. Laughing my base out. My girlfriend had her eyebrows done yesterday, and I compliment that for a third time today. She's so happy and I actually can't tell difference. I remember being very young, not even tall enough for my eyes to be over the counter yet. But my mom got home from a haircut and was showing it off, and my dumb little boy brain went, but it looks the same. Luckily my parents laughed it off, and then a little later that night my dad pulled me aside to be like, look son, sometimes women do stuff you won't understand. Just compliment them and be supportive, even if you don't know what you're supporting. That lesson has stuck with me through life, and my female friends always say how nice I am. Ha.
Story 3.
That the dog and I didn't have our evening treats yet. I choose to imagine both you and the dog following your wife into the kitchen, and looking up at her from the floor and whining with big sad, hopeful eyes. She rolls her eyes and says, "Oh, fine," and tosses the dog a rawhide chew, and you a 16-ounce beer from the fridge. You both scamper off excitedly with your prize.
Story 4.
She's 8 months pregnant, and she snores like a lumberjack. No honey, of course it's not the reason I haven't slept all week. I'm almost 7 months pregnant. Your comment made me ask my husband. He just started laughing and saying, "It's so incredibly loud." I started sleeping on the couch because of acid reflux, and the TV helps me fall asleep faster. Then I go into the bedroom after I have to pee in the middle of the night. He said he is always excited when I come into bed to cuddle. But then realize I'm going to keep him awake once I fall asleep again. I had no idea. I never snored before having kids. Pregnancy snores just never left. My kids are 6 and 3, and I still snores like I did when I was pregnant. If she sleeps with the pillow starting under her shoulders, or tucks a small pillow or rolled up throw blanket under her neck so her head is tilted back, it'll help keep her airway open. Like how you tilt a person's head back to do CPR. I've never been pregnant, but I have been fat. And as soon as I started to drift off, I'd start snoring so loud I'd wake myself up. Keeping my head tilted fixed that. Well, losing the weight did, but the tilt let me sleep until that happened.
Story 5.
I am going to get flack for this one, but I will agree she looks like she's lost weight. When she asks specifically, here's the thing for me, I like her body the best now. All the weight she's put on since we've been together has gone to the best places. Belly, base, and jubes. And she's hotter than ever to me. I literally can't keep my hands off her. I have to force myself to not constantly make it about beep when I'm in her presence. Because every time I catch a glimpse, I'm like a teenage boy again. But I understand telling her that would be like telling a man, your size is perfect, the big ones hurt. It might be the truth for me, but it's not what she wants to hear. And since she's been watching her diet and going to the gym, I do my best to encourage her since being healthier is good. And I am in fact very proud of her for her discipline and how far she's come. She lifts heavier, runs farther, and has quit smoking. All her huge accomplishments have made her more attractive overall, no matter what number is on the scale. My God, though, that thick body has me completely dumb. I'd be fine if she never lost another pound. Right now, I'm 10 pounds more than I want to be. I'm 48, had 4 kids, all C-sections, and am in perimenopause, so feeling fantastic. My husband tells me over and over this is the best I've ever looked, and is constantly grabbing me and all that like a teenager. I just thought he was being nice about it, but reading this makes me think he's being honest.
Story 6.
My wife is deaf and uses lip reading and sign language. We are Mexicans, so here is the lengua de señas mexicana, equivalent to the American Sign Language. I'm always trying to pause my speech, gesticulate more, etc., and put attention to what is happening and translate to her. I'm clumsy trying to gain skills in sign language. She asks sometimes if I feel overwhelmed or burdened by the effort it requires. And without skipping a beat, always say that, not at all. But it's hard and burdening. Sometimes it overwhelmed me or made me tired as hell. And feeling hopeless or lacking interest in sharing something. Just because the effort it takes. But, if it's like that to me, how frickin' excruciatingly difficult could be to her. And she keeps trying and putting effort into bonding and sharing thoughts, feelings, moments with me. So I will keep lying and trying better.
Story 7.
I learned long ago that when the wife asks if her hair or outfit or nails or new purse or whatever looks nice, the correct answer 100% of the time with no exceptions is yes. I don't care if she's rocking a Mr. T mohawk, while wearing floppy red rubber clown shoes, and a burlap potato sack as a skirt, carrying a dead raccoon as a purse, and her nails are painted with white out. The answer is yes. If she squirts ketchup and mustard on her face and calls it makeup, the answer is yes. If she goes full Howie Mandel and stretches a latex glove over her head, the answer is yes. On the flip side of this, you can be honest without being mean. My husband is actually the best to take shopping. He never criticizes me. He always criticizes the garment. It's not, you're too big for that. It's, I think there's something off about it. We can do better. Or, this shirt has weird seams, it's sitting weird. But we both also know that I'm overweight and working on it. So, he's not trying to save my feelings like he can't see my size. He just wants me to feel confident in what I'm wearing. So, if he can sense I'm not thrilled about it, he doesn't push to make it seem fine. He'll just agree and find something else.